What's up everybody, it's Broken Bones here and welcome to Broken's Bedrock Tutorials. Today we're going to be showing you how to make the Clay Blaster. The Clay Blaster feeds mud to a player where you can place it down and then it's converted to clay over these drip stones right here. Once it's converted, it's pushed forward into the Wither Blaster where it's broken and put into your collection system. Inside the AFK area, there's a barrel where the player can put all their mud and then a dropper right here where it'll spit it out to them every time a block is converted into clay, and then it'll spit you one out and push that block forward. There's a small little preparation stage that you need to do before you use the farm. You're going to come down this little ladder right here. You're going to place in all of your mud blocks just like that. You're going to come back over here. You're going to press this button, which is going to make all of those go forward. And then you're going to place in one more layer of mud just like this. And that way the farm is all primed up and ready to go. Now the mud is underneath the observer, so that way the observer can detect if it turns into clay, and then it can push the next mud block forward. So we're going to go ahead and place another mud block right there. And then we're going to go ahead and load up our dispenser and put all of our mud into the barrel. Just what we witnessed right now was a block of mud converting into clay, just like it is again right now. It looks like a third one just did it, and a fourth one just did it. So as you can see, every single time a block is converted, it's going to give you another block of mud to place right here. Just like that. When you're done using the farm, as you can see, the pistons are going to push the mud forward, and then it's going to turn into clay, which is exactly why you need to go ahead and prime this machine up before you use it. This farm is not fast in any way, shape, or form. We do have to wait for the clay to dry out, which can take several seconds, up to 15 minutes. However, you can AFK this farm, and it is very reliable, and therefore, even though you have to wait, you can go AFK, and then in the morning, when you're done AFKing, you'll have tons and tons of clay. After several hours of testing, my average output was about 3 stacks per hour. However, that did vary quite a bit. I got down below 1 stack per hour, and I also got above 6 stacks per hour. And since clay can take several seconds, up to 15 minutes to dry out, that's what makes the farm vary, depending on how lucky you get with those times. So if you're just as tired as watching clay dry as I am, then come with me and let's get started with the tutorial. A material list will be down in the description. To get things started, you're going to want to chunk align your build, and if you don't know how to do that, I have a link to that tutorial up in the top right hand corner there for you guys. And then once you guys find a chunk that you guys want to build this in, you guys are going to need to build yourself a wither cage, which I have another tutorial for how to build this, and I'll leave that link up in the top right hand corner. However, these wither blasters can handle up to 2 different farms. As you can see, we have a set of pistons over here that hasn't been used, and this is the farm that I plan on pairing the clay blaster with. This is what's known as the Superior Universal Dirty Tree Farm. This farm not only produces trees, but it also produces dirt and converts it into mud if you want. And as you can see below where the chunks are laid out, this wither blaster is not chunk aligned. This farm is chunk aligned, and therefore this wither blaster was made to fit into the farm. So I've engineered this farm to where your clay blaster could fit in right here perfectly fine. Since this farm does produce mud, you could actually break the mud, collect it up, and then go ahead and AFK your clay blaster. However, I am giving you 2 options. You could build the clay blaster, which is perfectly fine. It's actually easier than what I'm about to explain to you. However, this is a more AFK-able option. We're planning on taking the mud out of the farm, pushing it out over here, and putting it over dripstone so it could turn into clay automatically without you having to AFK another round, and it'll do it during your tree cycle. However, that's going to be big and clunky and probably kind of complicated, so I'm giving you the option. You can either do it this way with the clay blaster, or you could do it and wait for this tutorial to drop, and this is going to have an automatic clay blaster. And this tutorial will be coming out on Friday. And when that tutorial drops, I'll go ahead and leave a link to it up in the top right hand corner. And if you guys are going to be pairing it up with that Universal Dirty Tree Farm, then you guys are going to be building it just like this. And I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. However, if you're not going to be pairing it up with that farm, you can continue on. Go ahead and chunk align your wither blaster and set it up just like this. And once you build your clay blaster, this other set of pistons here will be open for you, and you can build another wither blaster farm. And I have a bunch of tutorials on those, and I'll leave a link to that playlist up in the top right hand corner. But if you are going to be pairing this farm up with the Superior Universal Dirty Tree Farm, then you're going to want to make sure to prepare yourself 2 chunks just like I have down here. And that's going to be on the south side where these pistons are. These pistons are the closest ones to the snowman machine over here in the tutorial. So be sure to go to these ones and then prepare yourself 2 chunks just like this. And then you're going to want to orientate your wither blaster above those 2 chunks just like this. As you can see right here, this is the spot where we're lining it up with. And right here, right below the wall of your wither cage, then you can come down 10 blocks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's right above your sub-chunk level, which we're at Y64, but that can go at any sub-chunk Y level. And earlier I posted a link on how to chunk align your build, and so those links are all down in the description as well if you need that one. And just to be completely clear before we get started, that if you're going to be building the Superior Universal Dirty Tree Farm, that you're going to prepare these 2 chunks like this, and if you're not, you're just going to chunk align your build like this. This chunk here is not properly chunk aligned, those chunks down there are. However, if you were to properly chunk align it, this is what it would look like. So I'm going to be leaving both of these in the tutorial for your reference. And again, to this stick right here is 10 blocks up from this surface, and if you were to come down this far, that would make 11 blocks down from that surface. So be sure to make sure that this stick starting from this block up is 10 blocks, and start your wither cage here. And once you have your wither blaster properly set up, then you're going to come directly across from your snowman machine on the east side. This is the east side over here. We're going to go ahead and come right on top of these pistons here with a couple of observers. So go ahead and place in yourself a temporary block and place yourself an observer looking down, and then you're going to do the same thing across all of these. So go ahead and put 4 observers looking down just like that. Then you can actually break these pistons out. You're actually going to gain a couple pistons by doing this tutorial, and then you're also going to break out this redstone and these blocks back here. We're actually going to replace those blocks with glass, so go ahead and put those back in, and then you can put the redstone dust back inside of there. Then what we need to do is we need to add some redstone dust up here as well, so go ahead and put those on top of your observers there. Then come right below your observers, and then before we actually place those blocks in, we're actually going to place 2 temporary blocks out here just like this, and then we're going to place in an observer looking up just like this, and an observer looking back just like that. We need to do that all the way across the front here. So we're going to put in the rest of the blocks here, put in these observers looking up just like this, and then we're going to go ahead and come right back here and place those in there just like so. Once you have that in place, go ahead and take your solid blocks and put those on their faces just like this. And then what we can do is we can come right over here to this side, and right in this gap right here, we're going to place ourselves in an obsidian block so the blocks don't get pushed any further. And then right below these blocks, we're going to place in some of these dripstone blocks just like this, and then we're going to put these pointed dripstones on the bottom of them so it sucks the water out. Then once you have that in place, you can take out your temporary blocks just like that, and all your pistons should fire every time you remove a block. Once you have this built up, then go ahead and come right back here to this redstone. Go ahead and place in a temporary block there, and 1 down and 1 out just like this. You can break that one out. Place in yourself a block on the side of that piston as well, and then go ahead and place another one right there. Then you can place one down below it just like this, and then come grab yourself a regular piston and place it on the side of that block, which should be pushing forward in front of all of these other pistons towards that obsidian. Go ahead and break this block out behind your piston just like that, and then come around to this side, place in yourself some redstone dust right there, grab yourself a repeater and put it on 4 ticks leading right into your piston. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a redstone torch, put it on the back side of your piston right there with a block up on top and then a block out to this side. Go ahead and put some redstone dust on that block right there, and then come to this side and place yourself in a dropper just like this. Then grab yourself a hopper, place it into the side of that dropper just like that. Then you can put yourself a shulker box or a barrel just like this to go ahead and get all of your mud into your dropper just like so. And then right here, you can grab yourself a sea lantern or a solid block. You're going to want a solid block just like this if you don't have a sea lantern, because we're going to be putting a button on the front of that, which you're going to put right there on the face of that one. Then go ahead and get yourself some redstone dust and place it there and there to connect up to this redstone dust up here on top of those observers. Then once you have that in place, then go ahead and grab yourself a solid block. Go ahead and come down here and come out by one like that. You can break that temporary block out. Then right here on this one, we can go ahead and place in ourselves a trap door just like that, so we can flap it on down. And then back here, we can go ahead and place in ourselves a block just like this. We can come down by another 2 blocks just like this, put in a temporary block, and then one out to the side like that, and one out here just like so. And then grab your ladders and put both of those there so you can get down and out of your thing to go ahead and prime up your farm with more mud. And then once you have that in place, go ahead and grab your solid blocks, and then we can go ahead and encase this all in. So you're going to have clay right here, so we're not going to put any blocks right there, but we are going to put 2 blocks right there. We're going to put a temporary block up there to come up this way. We're going to put 3 blocks in there. On this side, we're going to put 1 block right here to go ahead and hide that area right like that. We're going to put 1 more block right here. We're going to go ahead and come out by a block right there and come out by 1. Over here, we'll put a block right there and another block behind our hopper to kind of enclose that whole area, and then 1 more block right here, and that'll enclose your entire AFK area. Leave this area open for all of your clay to pass through. Once your build is looking like this, now it's time to wire up the on switch. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our snowman machine. We're going to come right down to this block right here, and we're going to come down by 1 block just like this. Go ahead and put that there and put another block there, and you can break this one out. Go ahead and put yourself in a repeater right there just like so. Then go ahead and place in another temporary block and come out just like this, and then you can come up here just like so. Go ahead and bring this all the way to the end of your chunk just like this, and then you can put redstone dust on top of all of this just like so, just like that. Then right here, go ahead and break this block out, bring a block up just like this, and put yourself in a repeater right here. Then on the back side of this one, go ahead and bring this redstone dust all the way to the end of your chunk just like that. That'll be 15 blocks. That's as far as redstone can go. So then we're going to go ahead and come up by another block right there. Go ahead and add yourself another repeater. From here, we need to come all the way out to this area. So we're going to place in a block right here underneath this one. This is the area where you have your repeater on 4 ticks and the other redstone dust coming right into that. So we're going to place a repeater going out of that one to have an output from it. So now we're going to go up by a block and we're going to come down by a block and then break this one out. We need to come down by one more. So we're going to go ahead and bring this all the way to this area just like that and come all the way across just like so. That's all lined up like this. Then grab your redstone dust, put it down here just like so, and then bring that all the way across. Now, over here on your snowman machine, you should have yourself a lever right here. Go ahead and break that and then bring it with you over here. You should be able to place it on this block right here. Go ahead and flick it in the on position and your snowman machine should start. If you don't, then go ahead and double check your redstone and make sure that your redstone is making it all the way to your snowman machine. Once you know this is working, go ahead and break this and then you can go ahead and bring this lever back to this side and go ahead and place it in back right here. Once your on switch is all wired up, go ahead and come inside your AFK area and flap your trapdoor down and go ahead and come down into the bottom. You're going to go ahead and place in some mud here. So go ahead and place in 4 bits of mud right there just like that. Then come back over here and hit your button just like that. That'll move it forward just like so. Then go ahead and give yourself 4 more blocks of mud just like that. Then come back out of your farm just like so. And once you're up here, go ahead and jump back up and place 1 more bit of mud right there. Once you have that, go ahead and take your dispenser or your dropper and go ahead and load it up with mud and do the same thing with your barrel. Once you have the machine primed up with mud, then you're going to want to hold down your place button, which for me is L2. And as you can see, I just placed a bit of mud there when one of the clay blocks was made. And all of our mud is slowly being converted into clay. After some time of going AFK, you'll see that your clay blocks get pushed forward just like that and broken and collected just like so. So once you've done some testing, go ahead and come on down below your wither blaster and then double check your storage system to make sure that you do have clay coming in. And if it is, then your farm is complete. This thing is super simple and easy to build, it's super small and compact, and it's super useful in your survival worlds. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you guys did, be sure to smack the like button for me and subscribe. I'm Broken Bones, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Take it easy, everybody.